Start winning at the races with Daily Racing Form's new mobile pass performances, featuring exclusive buyer speed figures and expert analysis and selections. Go to drf.com/best and get the power of DRF in the palm of your hand. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. The feature race at Belmont Park on Friday is race number 9. Let's throw up the field for the $80,000 Gold Fever Stakes. These are 3-year-olds going 6 furlongs. You see a heavy favorite on David Aragona's morning line. The 6-long weekend is 1-2, and Tom Amos has got a barn full of good 3-year-olds. He's got the Woody Stevens winner, No Parole. He's got the Ohio Derby winner, Dean Martini, and he has Long Weekend, who is a pure sprinter, 4 of 5 in his career.
Yeah, he's a very fast horse. There's the one sort of, mistake that he made there, I guess you would call it, in his second career start in the Saratoga Special. Other than that, he's just been dominant in his sprint races, Dan. And at this stage of the game, he towers over this field.
And in the Timeform US pace projector has him on a lonely lead in a blue bar scenario. And if this pace projector plays out on the racetrack, it could be good night, Irene, because Long Weekend, if you give him this kind of pace situation with the buyer speed figure edge that he has, he's going to be really tough to catch.
Oh, yeah. If he's loose on the lead, it's probably over in here. I mean, there are a couple other horses in this field who do have some speed. Just don't know if they're as fast as this horse, Dan.
One of those horses is the one, Premier Star, who won his first 2 starts sprinting when he was in the controversial Jorge Navarro barn. They tried to stretch him out in the Sam F. Davis. That's not what he wanted to do. And then he was transferred to Michael Trombetta. And I think it's too early to say that the Navarro off angle or whatever you want to call it didn't work for Premier Star, because he was in against a decent field of older horses. He didn't get out of the gate, and he actually ran a little bit at the end of that race. I thought it was a promising enough effort, and if I was Kendrick Carmouche, I'd try to get up close.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dan. His first 2 career wins were both pretty good. I know they were for Navarro, and it looks like he took a big step backwards last time. I don't know if that's the case. He actually ran deceptively well in that race last time.
The number 2 News to Me goes out for Trombetta as well, and he's a stakes winner on dirt and on the Tapeta surface at Woodbine. Let's watch his dominating victory in the Woodstock last time out, going 6 furlongs. He sat just off the lead. Untitled is a decent horse at 1-2, and we just see News to Me on his left lead. He just switched over. He rolls by everybody in the stretch. Career best 83 buyer speed figure, and he's not a one-run closer. He can stay close enough to the pace. He just would prefer to have someone hit the favorite early.
Yeah, true. He looked good to me winning that race. Now, I realize that, I guess there's a way to look at him and feel like his synthetic races are his best races, and maybe that's what he prefers. But as you mentioned, he's a stakes winner on dirt, too. I don't know. I think this horse took a big step forward last time. He ran really well in that race.
Michael Pino's done a nice job with Hopeful Treasure, a horse who debuted for a $40,000 price tag, and he's here in the stakes race now. He's never been off the board on dirt. Throw out the last race. A, it was turf. B, he just really didn't get out of the gate. And he has tactical speed as well. Let's watch his win at Aqueduct on February the 23rd, the last time he raced on dirt. This is not a strong field. It's only a field of 4, but he did some good things running down these horses in the stretch. 89 buyer speed figures, the best thing to say about this race. I'm not sure whether he can replicate it against better horses, but he's somewhat promising at a price.
Yeah, I mean, he did run an 89 as a February 3-year-old. So, I guess you have that to think he could build upon. And we'll just point out that aside from that being a 4-horse field, the horses that ran second and third in there basically hooked up right from the start, dueled in front of this horse. He set a perfect trip. And it's not like it was the most impressive stretch run you've ever seen to close it down. He ran fine in there, Dan. This is way tougher.
You really get 38-1 on Christophe Clement in a stakes race. Listen to Your Heart was that price, making his first start off of a lengthy layoff and his first start with Lasix. He almost stole it on the lead going 7 furlongs. Let's watch the Mike Lee for Listen to Your Heart, who went right to the front that day, although he has shown he can sit a little bit off the pace. And this is a nice horse that beats him, a nice New York bred, Captain Bombastic, who's going to squeeze his way in between horses and get to Listen to Your Heart. Maybe the 7 got this horse in here.
Yeah, tough distance off the layoff there. That was first time Lasix for this horse. I thought he ran well, Dan. He did get to the early lead without much trouble, but they challenged him around the turn. He held those horses. Captain Bombastic's a nice horse, had a perfect trip, and he also had a race already. So there was a lot working against Listen to Your Heart last time, and he ran well.
Trainer Brittany Russell's having a fantastic year, and she has a promising gelding in the 5, Wonder Where Craig Is, who's a perfect 2-for-2 with some solid Beyer speed figures. Let's watch this horse's race against winners on June the 6th, against older winners as well. And this horse was relentless on the outside, tracked the pace outside, is in the yellow silk, still has some work to do, and is going to run down this horse near the wire. I thought it was a good effort against older horses. The runner-up came back to run 3rd with the 78 Beyer.
Yeah, this is a 5.5 furlong race too. So I like that he was still able to close this race down, even though it was a little shorter. I like both of his races, Dan. He's got good tactical speed. He's finished very gamely and very determinedly in both of his starts. There's still a lot of upside here too. There are things to like about this horse.
And here's the horse to beat, the 6 long weekend. Ever since that Saratoga Special defeat, he has not been headed. Let's watch the Bachelor Stakes, where he broke from the outside. He had to work early to get to the lead. He battled on the front end. He's down on the inside. That Echo Town on the outside's okay. He was one of 2 next out winners to emerge from the Bachelor. But long weekend's not only fast, he's got a little bit of heart as well. He says, Echo Town, oh, no, you don't.
Yeah, I like this performance for that very reason, because Echo Town's a nice horse, as you mentioned. And this horse, his first 3 wins were just sort of blowouts where they never got really near him. So you didn't know what would happen when he got headed in the stretch, and he did there. Echo Town took a big run at him. This horse dug down deep, held him off. The race was fast. I don't know what to say, Dan. I suppose that Amos, is putting him in this spot where it just looks like he's almost impossible to beat as a prep, for something a lot bigger down the line. You have the H. Allen Jerkins in about 3 weeks at Saratoga. I'm assuming they're looking at that race, Dan, and this just might be a stepping stone to get him there.
Liam's Pride, the number 7. I'm going to argue this horse is dirtied up a bit and that he can outrun his big odds. Last time out, they ran him on turf going 2 turns in the War Chant, and he also is very fractious before the start. I'll throw that race out. He was in against the aforementioned No Parole, who won the Woody Stevens 2 starts back. He caught a wet track 3 starts back. I thought he was okay when he won at Oaklawn 4 back, and before that he ran into Pneumatic, who's a nice horse. He's, I think, had some difficult circumstances thrown against him, and I think he'll be running at the end of this race.
I thought so too. I mean, he's just sort of that horse who's pretty clearly dirtied up off of his recent races. And prior to the last 3, you have the paired up 80 Beyer speed figures. He's drawn well outside. He doesn't need the lead. There are things to like if you want to sort of throw him in there at a price.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Gold Fever, Friday's feature race at Belmont Park. Long weekend, expected to make the front. If that's the case, he's just going to be too tough to beat. I don't really have a lot of interest in betting against him. Maybe I'll try to get Hopeful Treasure into the number. You'll try to get the 2 News to Me.
Yeah, I wasn't going to bet against this horse if he runs here. He just looks too good to me. I do like News to Me's races, and especially his last one. I thought he took a step forward last time.
6-3-2-4 for me, 6-2-5-1 for Mike in the Gold Fever, which has an approximate post time of 5:36 Eastern. Good luck.